Oh, hello. Welcome to the Bot Signal. My name is R.J. Redden, and if you don't know me, entrepreneurs hire me to skyrocket their marketing message. Why? Because most are a carbon copy of everybody else, or they have no idea how to get traction online, good traction, and they feel like they're screaming into a black hole half the time. So I create epic engagement experiences that get people to click that button, connect with you, and convert like crazy. Bottom line, I am on a mission to get 1 million people to join the engagement marketing revolution. Today, I'm going to give you an invitation to do that. So, my friends, we're going to talk a little bit about Followup today. Followup. Oh, I know. You know, the best I always have the best intentions on Followup. Let me tell you this. I started going to events and I was on a plane pretty much once, twice a month. I started going to events in September 18. And gosh, I went a lot of places. I think that I counted up. I visited Phoenix itself like 7 times in a year and a half. Hello, Phoenix. I love you if you're watching. Anyway, went to a lot of different places, met a lot of different people, learned a lot about Followup. And mostly what I learned is what doesn't work for Followup. Let me explain. No, let me sum up. So yes, Followup. I learned the wrong way to do it. I would get a stack of business cards. People are at live events. They're attracted to this cape, or they're completely repelled by the cape and I'll never hear from them, which is all fine with me. Both situations are equally cool. So people would come up to me and I would talk with them and I would, I would have really great conversations, but I didn't know how to follow up on that. And in fact, at my second event ever, a client wanted to hire me and she actually like wrote that in a text on my bot. She said, I will hire you. And then like 3 days after I got home, she sent me an email saying, how can I pay you? How do we start this? She chased after me. I had no idea how to follow up. Here's what I thought about it. I thought, yeah, they met me, they liked me, but they're going to get home, they're going to look at their finances, they're going to go, I don't know. This bot thing, it's pretty crazy, it's pretty new. I decided for them that they weren't going to want to carry on with me. I decided for them. Now, eventually, I started kind of getting over that behavior and I stopped deciding for people. But then here was my excuse for not following up. Well, I just don't want to interrupt them. I don't want to interrupt them. I don't want to bug people. I don't know if any of you have ever felt the same way. I don't want to bug people. I just, I don't want to be salesy, douchey, all of that stuff. I don't want to be that person. I want to be a different kind of business owner. So I'll get to this stack of cards when I can. Also a self-destructive attitude, not quite as self-destructive as before, but also kind of self-destructive because it's like, when you get a coupon in the mail for a pair of jeans and you were looking for a pair of jeans, do you feel annoyed? That's what my friend Stacy Spenceley used to say to me. Do you feel annoyed when you have a need and then somebody comes by that fills that need and gives you a little discount? I mean, like, really? But for me, I still wasn't able to put myself in the shoes of thinking that people would really want to hear from me afterward. I would come home from these events. I'd have a stack of cards like this. Say hello to Ranger, everybody. I'd have a stack of cards like this. And what I would do is immediately I'll get to that, but I got to get to these, I got to, look at what's happening in the business, and I got to get to these emails first, and I would do all of these things, and then I'd get caught up, right? I'd get caught up in the maelstrom of settling back down again, and it was frustrating. It was so frustrating because I would get one or two deals out of going. I always got one or two deals out of going, but I could have nurtured relationships one heck of a lot better. I could have done it a heck of a lot better. I absolutely know that I missed out on clients because I wasn't persistent. Now, fast forward a little bit. I did a talk in Phoenix in November. It was my first one. I had always done like the 20-minute, 30-minute type, where, I was either alone on stage or I did an interview style worth the thing. And I had done well at those. But November was the first time that I actually made an offer from stage, is how they call it. I made a money offer from stage. I had this class going on at the time. I offered it to people. People passed out little sheets and my folks passed out little sheets, and people like put their stuff down on them, and okay. So I got a certain number of buyers on the spot, but I also got a stack of sheets that said, call me later. They had to write it on there for me. That's how I instructed them to do that. So that's when my follow-up started to change. That's when my attitude really started flipping toward maybe the other side of the spectrum. And that is, that was pretty amazing. Hey, if you have written on there, call me or get me on your calendar or some sort of something, I got a license to stalk you now. I do. And I have all your information right there. And I have these papers in a stack, and I can go through them every 3 days and sort people into piles over here, or put them back in the get a hold of me pile over here. And it was like having a physical representation of that was really helpful for me. It was really powerful for me. And so I started to really connect with, hey, they told me to, I've been instructed to follow up here. And I definitely took advantage of that. Then the holidays came, and then I traveled just a tiny bit at the beginning of the year. I went to a wedding, and then I went to a conference in Florida. And then what happened? What happened, baby. Little COVID came into our lives, and I haven't been on a plane since. So primarily going out and meeting these people at live events and speaking from stage was absolutely bringing in my income. So, but my business has never done better than right now. Why is that? Because I figured out the darn follow-up. All right? I figured out the darn follow-up. I figured out how to do it consistently. And of course, it involves a bot. Do it consistently, and absolutely do it in a way that is not gross, douchey, salesy. I only want your money, and that's the only reason I'm talking to you right now, which is how most follow-up makes us feel, doesn't it? Let's just be honest. That is one of those things that I don't ever want to sound like that. That was the thing that made me not want to follow up with people after an event, and I just kind of thought, well, if they really want me, they'll, They'll come get me. Yeah, in some cases, absolutely. But holy moly, the reason why people need us to follow up, need people, is because life is awfully distracting. Now, I will tell you that some of the follow up that I do, I'm not getting a sale right away. And I don't care. I don't care because it'll come. It'll come when that person's ready. All I'm trying to do is stay in the mix of people that they know and sometimes refer. That happens with follow up too. Sometimes people just aren't ready. Super cool. Sometimes they change their mind. Also super cool. I'm in. I understand that business changes on a dime sometimes, particularly, global pandemics, civil unrest. Anyway, business changes on a dime. Sometimes their direction changes, what they need changes, and they need to go find some other solution. Totally fine. I get it, and I'm in it. So, but if I stay on the top of their mind, if I write them a little note every once in a while, if my bot reaches out to them, then they're much more willing to go, you know what? I think you need a bot. I think you need to get a hold of RJ. And then I get a little introduction out of it. Golden. I've just met another human. And about the follow-up, I'm funny about it. Be funny about it. Don't be afraid. You are not reaching out to somebody to get them to buy your stuff now. If you can get rid of that idea in your head, and that was what was stopping me. That was what was stopping me from following up so often, was because I didn't want to be the douchey salesy, the come buy my stuff. I don't want to be that kind of person at all. What I want to do is establish a relationship. I just want to establish a relationship. I just want to remind them that I'm still here. I'm doing stuff. I want them to be a part of whatever party I'm throwing right now, because there's constantly a party happening in this dojo. You know that that's happening. I want people to be involved in that. I want them to join me. I want them to join me for a show. I want them to come on one of my shows. I want people to be able to do these things and to be able to be involved with me on a basis that is not pressurized into, hey, buy my stuff. So, title of this particular broadcast, Botomate Your Follow-Up. Botomation, of course, that's my own word. I'm gonna TM everybody. That's a botomation. I want to do this, and I've been doing this for my clients. If you can automate part of your follow-up, more power to you. More power to you, because you then aren't counting on yourself to remember, because that's useless. It's just useless, everybody. Can't tell you how useless that is. I mean, maybe it's useful to someone. I can't count out everybody in the universe, but please, not been great for me. Oh, let me read some comments here, my friends. I hate that. I don't want to bother people with uninteresting information thought process. I think it comes from feeling like I was yelling into a black hole for so long. Oh, absolutely. That's the other thing that kept me too from doing any sort of effective follow-up was, I'm sure they're not interested. They would have contacted me by now. I'm sure they're not interested. We have been trained not to reach out till we want people to come engage with something we're doing. We have been trained. We have been trained that the only useful time to reach out to people that we maybe have met one time, or maybe that are subscribed to our list or something, we are trained to only contact them when we have something going on. Untrue, people. That's not a nurture. That's not a nurture. And hello, Black Belt bots. Happiness always in your organization. There's a lot of message there. We'll save that one for later. Anyway, so we're talking about the follow-up. And one of the things that I do now, and I do different follow-ups, I have different strategies for different kinds of meetings. But one of the things that I do have, and I have been doing with my clients lately, is adding a little Bonjoro into their lives. I've talked about that product before. If you haven't seen that show, go ahead and search the little archives for that particular show because it's a good one. It's all about it's all about being able to email somebody a short little video of yourself saying hi and saying thanks. I've done it many times. This thing is golden. People love a personal touch. I was talking to somebody yesterday. His name's John, runs a great digital marketing agency out in England. You guys are going to meet him in a couple weeks here. And we were talking about that. And we were talking about the fact that he got back a message from somebody that was like really personal. And he's like, somebody treated me like a human being. Wow. You know what? Let's take advantage of that. Let's treat people like human beings. Let's send them thank yous. Let's send that, because that's another way to keep on people's top of mind, obviously. And maybe they aren't ready right now. Maybe they got really excited on your first phone call and then they looked at their finances and whatever. Okay, no problem. I still want to be in your circle. I still want to be in your universe. Because there's a reason that we connected. I had a client call me after a year she met me at an event a year ago. And boy, we're going to do some amazing stuff together. You're going to see her on this show too. Kat, the course builder. Holy moly. I don't know if anybody is completely ready for Kat the Course Builder. She is freaking awesome. But we met at an event at either one or two events in Atlanta last year about this time. Can't remember what the dates were on that thing. But boom, became a client. And now we're working on stuff. So Botomate your follow-up. What that means is, if you can automate that follow-up, automate it with a bot. Hey, if you've got a webinar going on, what kind of follow-up are you doing with the people that didn't buy? Using a bot to text them, to see if they've got the message, to using a bot, using Messenger, like we do sometimes, using email, like I never do. I always write, if I'm going to do an email, I don't do a blast to a follow-up. No. I will use a bot. I'll bring them into a bot. I'll ask them what it was that they got out of, attending that webinar. What are they going to change about their situation coming up? And then I will, repitch an offer and see if they take it. And if not, excellent. You know what I'm saying? It's all good, because the time will come. The time will come when they either refer me to somebody else who needs me, or they turn around and go, okay, I'm ready now. I'm ready. Let's hit it big guns. This has worked for me over and over and over again. Botomate the follow-up. Just introduce a schedule of the follow-up. Every live event, every webinar, every time you make a big presentation and a lot of people are there, on the internet, off the internet. Well, of course, right now, off the internet's not super possible. Think about a schedule of follow-up. Use a bot to do that. This is not hard. It is not hard. And it can really do amazing things for you. If you, and somebody, this guy's name is Tim Francis. He's amazing. And I met him recently. What he said we were taking a class together, and what he said was, hey, you want to stand out follow-up. I was like, oh. Duh. You want to stand out follow-up. Because, think about this. If 99.9% of entrepreneurs screw up on the follow-up stage and you don't, you will automatically stand out. Now, not wanting to bother people. Let's address this part because this part is very important. I don't want to bother people either. So, if I've, depending on what system I've chosen, if I've attempted to get a hold of them, a certain number of times, maybe 2-3 times, whether it's through the bot, whether it's through a personal email, whether, whatever reach out I'm doing. Okay. If I've tried 2 or 3 times and haven't gotten an answer, I will message them an out. I will say, listen, I understand I don't want to bother you. That's my thing. So, hey, if you just don't want me to write these emails anymore, if you don't want me to send you any more messages, just reply stop and I will get out of your hair. I'll offer them an out. I won't be salesy and douchey and manipulative about it. I have seen a lot of people do that. I woke up to an email in my inbox the other day that was from, one of the big marketers that was like, the headline of it was so manipulative. It was just like, something like, what did I say? And it was obviously a blast email. And it was all about, what you haven't been answering me. You didn't show up. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, don't be douchey. You know how to not be douchey. That's the thing I was missing when I wasn't figuring out how to do my follow-up. But it took me such a long time. Listen, I know how not to be douchey. I already know. I know how to be genuine. I know how people feel sometimes. And I'm going to offer them messages that aren't clickbait messages in inbox, in bot, wherever, in a text, however I'm trying to get a hold of people. I already know how not to be douchey, and so do you. So it's time. This is what I'm saying to you. It's time. You need a system of follow-up. One of my friends who's great at systems, Charles Bird. That guy, incredible at systems. For me, I've created a system that a lot of times uses my bot, sometimes uses some of the other tools that I have in my toolkit, Bonjoro, different things that trigger hey, follow up with this person. It's beautiful. When you finally learn, just from experience here, when you finally learn how to make that happen, it's going to change your business. Right now, do this for me right now. Here's a little exercise in the dojo today. Let me give you a little thing to do. I want you to find, and you haven't had to have a recent event to do this, but I want you to make a list. Maybe go through some of those stacks of business cards. Only people you remember, okay? Not everyone, but only people that you actually remember. And I want you to go through that stack and just pick out 3. You can pick out 3 people that you've been in contact with in the past. Doesn't have to be a stack of business cards. You can look through your emails. You can look through, past messages. You can look in a lot of places, okay? Do this for me. Make a list of 3 people that you can just reach out to and say, hey, what are you up to? Just like that. Help them remember where they met you and say, hey, what are you up to? Would love to chat if you have the time, and just meet with them. That will give you some confidence because you're reaching out to them out of the blue. It'll give you some confidence to move forward, create a system for your follow-up, Use a bot for your follow-up. If you don't know how to do that, get a hold of me because I know how to do it. Get a system for your follow-up. Stand out and start collecting that fortune that's in the follow-up. So I've been a little preachy today. And I know that that's inconceivable, but it's just me. It's just how I do things. So thanks for listening today. Today is Thursday, so you know what? Tomorrow's Friday. Friday is so important around here because what we're going to do tomorrow, Friday, is celebrate our wins from the week. If you have done any of the exercises that I've been talking about, if you have done anything personally, professionally, big, small, we don't care, bring it to the show tomorrow, 10 o'clock Central Time. That's like Chicago. If you're, I don't live in Chicago. I live in Omaha. Anyway, 10 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. Bring your wins. Big or small, we'll celebrate them all. And let's celebrate entrepreneurship a little bit. Let's give ourselves a pat on the back so that we can prevent, the burnout that sometimes comes with jobs like these. So, I have 5 I needed to reach out to yesterday, and I put it off by justifying, everyone is stressed. They don't want to chat. I'm going to offer you the opposite explanation because that's what I'm here for. Maybe because they're stressed, they need a chat break. I don't know. Could be. You're also offering, when you say, hey, what are you up to? You're offering them a chance to talk about recent things that they have offered out. And it may be something important to you or somebody that you know. Maybe you can make a connection. Just saying. So tomorrow, bring us your wins. We love ya. You know that we do around here. Well, I mean, Ranger and I do, obviously. Thank you for stopping by, everybody, today. And I'll see you in a bot.